let's take professional wrestling for example, right? Like, let's be honest, what professional wrestling is, man. Like, it can be, full of, toxicity, carnies, fucking, political drama, bullshit, all this sort of fucking stuff. And like the amount of people that, and we were like, I've said this before on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure that I had this conversation with you. There are so many people inside wrestling that have learning difficulties or mental disabilities and stuff like that, but the fucking industry doesn't know how to fucking accept it. Like, we can be progressive and fucking woke about all these other things, but if someone has the slightest bit of mental disability or intelligent disability or whatever it may be, bang, they're just made fun of. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how such a progressive industry can be so fucking backwards when it comes to that shit.
I've got people at my work. They've got autism. I think one of them has Tourette's. And it's like they're the ones that shut up and do the work. Maybe, not just because they're not the ones getting, they're not the ones doing, making fun of people, but because, how often do people, with autism or ADHD or whatever, they're the ones that put in the extra effort, or they're the ones that are smarter. Like, they're a little bit different to what the normal person is. But now there isn't a normal person, because everyone's got something in their life that's not normal.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably people that it definitely has. Like, it comes down to the same health thing. It's like, if we got a bunch of people, right, that we know, and we sent them to a doctor and we got a bunch of tests done, I guarantee you that everyone will come back with some ailment, some fucking thing. Oh, you've got an underactive thyroid, you've got an overactive thyroid, you've got a fucking, hemorrhoid that's been stuck up your ass for 6 months. You've got this, you've got that, you've got this, you've got that. No one will come back. You are a picture fucking perfect of fucking health.
Well, that's the thing. No one knows what picture perfect is, because everyone's supposed to be different. If all 8 billion people are different, well, then what's the perfect person? You got one?
What's the perfect person?
Yeah, and who's the judge? That one person? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm Piers Austin. Nice to meet you. No, I feel like it definitely is, right? And for yourself though, like, when we did the first podcast, we spoke a lot about your mental health and struggles, and since then, I feel like you seem to be in a lot of like, you seem to be in a much better place. How have you found, like, now getting more and more back in the swing of things in professional wrestling since the first podcast we did to now? How have you found getting back into the swing of things and back into the swing of the professional wrestling world?
It's good, because I'm able to. I'm trying to help people, with people. I'm trying to help people, like all right, Wrestling Go, for example. It's not the biggest company. It definitely isn't. It's just an alternative. But I'm doing things that could help companies that could be bigger, be bigger. Like, right now, I'm only wrestling for 3 companies. I'm wrestling for Wrestling Go, and then I'm doing Old Star Wrestling, and then I'm doing Kingdom. So, like, yeah, I'm just trying to help out as much as I can, like, being like, oh, maybe you should try this or do this, and then just helping some of the wrestlers on the show. And then, same with All Star. I try to keep my mouth shut a little bit more with All Star, because, like, I feel like I've got more say at Kingdom. At All Star, it's like, it's more of a, like, it's their game, it's their thing. But if I know that they're open to it. If I ever do have a criticism or something that I could help out with, Just put it out there. But I've been trying to help guide some of the people at their school um, a little bit. Like it's not a whole lot; it's a little bit. Um, but I'm just trying to help a little bit anywhere I can go because a lot of people just they'll take a booking and then they'll get there 2 hours before the doors open and then
Yeah.
they'll have the match and then they leave and that's okay. That's what they
Mm.
do in America, Canada, Japan, Mexico, because they make real money. Here it's a hobby, it's a passion project. Um, so unless you're getting paid real money, but even then, the people who are getting paid real money, they're longer. They're there at the shows longer than some of the ones who aren't,
Mm.
um, and that's a little frustrating. Um, but it's I'm just trying to teach people that you need to put in the effort, otherwise, the people who do put in effort are going to take the spot. Um, um, because yeah, if you're not contributing in some way, whether it's selling tickets or promoting, or if you're not active at the school, um, or whatever, like someone's going to take your spot, and
Mm.
you don't want to lose your spot just because you're not helping with the ring. That's one of the worst ways that you want to lose a spot on a show
Mm.
because you're not helping with the ring, especially to someone not as experienced. Um, that's what I think. Because I know that, like Vinny, for example, right? He,
Yeah.
I watched the podcast a few weeks ago with you, Vinny and Akel, and he had good reasoning as to why he doesn't, help with the ring. He puts butts on seats. That's so he makes more. He brings more money in for the promoter than most of the wrestlers do. Does it suck that he's not helping with the ring? It does.
Mm.
But would you rather wrestle in front of 10 or 20 less people? I don't know. You
Yeah.
know, it's all a team.
100%.
It's all a team effort. If you had, oh, you go, you go.
I was just gonna say, why do you only wrestle for 3 promotions? Why aren't you getting out there more and more? Because I feel like the gimmick, like the b-boy gimmick, and even Fly Guy, like that gimmick as well, like that's kind of like a license to print money. I feel like at certain shows.
Uh huh. Yeah. Um, so there's a few that have been written off. Um, Pretty much, well, not written off because I'm sure that if I really tried, I could get there. But I don't want to. It sucks, but I can't be bothered. I'd
Mm.
like to. I'd like to give it a shot, but I'd really have to put in the effort, and maybe that's just on me. Um, but I also know the competition that I'd have to. Like, look, for example, like PWA, I'd have to really put in the effort, a lot of effort. Um, would I be like? I'm just gonna say it. Would I be more popular on the shows than some of their people? Maybe. Um, but I know how hard those guys work. Um,
Mm.
so would I be able to put on a better show and bring in people to their 18 plus shows than people who are at their training all the time, who pay the bills? Um, am I that valuable to just come in, maybe do a session here and there, if any, and then like, am I that valuable just to take someone else's spot like that? Um,
But
you know,
but that's the thing, like in wrestling, and we've spoken about this, so many times before as well. Like that it comes down to like putting in the work. Like let's look at it as a real business, as a legitimate business. You can have someone who tries really fucking hard and puts in all the fucking work in the world, but if they still suck, they still fucking suck. But if you have someone that may not work as hard but comes in and hits that shit out of the fucking park all over the fucking time, that person is going to get promoted because that's the person that's bringing in money. That's the person that's taking it to the next level. And I feel like in wrestling, it's just all a fucking circle jerk when it comes to that shit. Like it really is, bro.